Welcome to the Inner Champions podcast. Would you like to promote your business so the world can find you? Or would you like to become a sponsor of the podcast? If so, please contact us on Instagram at Inner Champions Podcast. Lastly, follow our current sponsor at The Real Talk with Jordyn.
Viewer discretion is advised. This episode may be sensitive to some listeners. Hey, what's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to the Enchanted Champions podcast on a special episode of just bringing awareness and discussing about the Charlie Kirk incident that happened about 3 days ago, maybe a little bit longer than that at this point. Nevertheless, I'm going to come on here right away and let you know everybody has their own thoughts. Everybody has their own opinion. That is fine and dandy. But the one thing that I will bring to your attention right away is that I don't care if he was your worst enemy or your best friend, you should never want to wish death on him or his family or anybody attached to him. Today I will just be discussing the things that I've just kind of personally did my own research about Charlie Kirk, what Charlie Kirk was all about. I wish I would have been a closer follower to him and supported him down his journey and his own legacy. What you guys are failing to understand or really don't care to understand is this person had no attachment to any kind of administration, no attachment, no job title to go do what he did. And the reason why I stand behind this human being and this person, and I will always continue to remember him, is he stood up for himself. He stood up for his own rights. He stood up for freedom of speech. And what this world is failing to understand and failing probably to see is that we don't have enough more of freedom of speech, because we want to be controlled. We want to, try to be adapted, and I'm not going to be controlled. I'm going to be one of the few not to be controlled. And you can take that as far as gun laws or whatever the case may be, however you want to go about it. But the thing that happened about 3 days ago at this point was unnecessary, uncalled for. A person was just going there, telling him his side. Another person was trying to debate, and then boom, and I don't care or how other people believe. I believe it was a setup. You could totally tell it was a setup. As soon as he said what he said, he got shot. In my personal opinion, the person that was asking Charlie Kirk the questions about, what he was asking before he got shot, should also be brought in for questioning of some kind, some sort. It just was, he basically walked into that question and he knew what was going to happen, in my personal opinion. I've watched countless things, countless videos with audio on what was said. We all know what was said. We're all smarter than that. I can't fathom someone, sticking up for themselves, speaking out just freely. He was not, he was on nobody's side of, good, bad, whatever. Freely speaking, freely humanized, and he gets murdered. It's absolutely disgusting, especially right in front of his family. His family was there. His family was in attendance. It's uncalled for, as we all know. And the reason I am wanting to, just voice my opinion, bring it aware, is just spreading awareness, is that this world needs to, and I don't think it ever will, but it needs to find itself. It needs to just wake the fuck up. And this can't keep going on, over somebody speaking. And that's why I say that there's no division anymore. We are just choosing, we are poking and prodding at different species just because, we don't agree or we can't agree to disagree anymore. There's no such thing as agreeing to disagree anymore. There's not even that in, other platforms. I'm not even going to bring up other topics. I'm not even going to bring up, and trust me, I've got some of my own very worst enemies out there, and some of you probably can beg to differ that I do or I don't. But that's for your own decision. That's for your own, to decide. And I'm going to be speaking about some of those enemies, coming soon on this actual podcast, in the most respectful way that I humanly possibly can. But even when I speak about those enemies or those, hard people that I had to deal with in my upbringing and stuff like that, I never wish upon death upon them. Even as bad as they've treated me, I would not want any particular person to take a part in that, in experiencing death. Death is, a very hard thing, disgusting thing, and you should never wish that upon anyone. I don't care about your political beliefs. I don't care about which fence you lean on more, fence you lean on less. This is more than that. This is somebody's life. He was only 30. I think he was 31 years old. Had an amazing family from what it looked like. Like I said, I personally don't know much about the person. And I will say honestly, straightforward, come out in front. I wish that I could have met this person. I think me and this person would have got along really, really well. Not just because the way he, leaned towards or whatever, because we could just conversate. He could be human about it. He could, he was such an open mind. And I've heard a lot of commentators talk about him, and what he brought to the table. And like they asked him to, which he would never have done because he's that wholesome kind of person. He would have never run for governor. He would have never run for president. Would he have got it? Probably. He brought in a lot of the youth. He brought them a lot closer. He brought them to, unite and be one unit behind each other. The portions that understood what this world was coming to and gonna come to and continue to be, because of the disgusting people that continue to make all these videos, like some of these big wigs out there like Harry Sisson and those kind of influencers, because they want it for clickbait. Everything for them on social media is clickbait. It's not to bring, their message or anything like that, because if it was, like some of these people that I've seen on social media, they, put out a separate tribute and, beyond their channel for what it is, they took the time to, share their respects for his family and his situation that had to take place, unfortunately. But those kind of people were, doing things in side channels, side discords, and having polls put up, and all those people should be canceled. Those people that are, taking his name and using it for their own benefit because their level of success isn't as good as his, and all this turns out to be is jealousy, in my opinion. And again, this podcast is clearly my opinion. A lot of you are not going to, want to continue to listen to this podcast probably because of this, but that's on you, and that's fine. I'm completely okay with that. If I lose, hundreds of viewers or whatever, hundreds of listeners, that's on you. Over a single podcast, you're going to, sit here and judge me because I support somebody for speaking out, how he believes. And the beautiful thing about it is, like I said earlier, is he had no attachment to anybody. Yes, he was friends with J.D. Vance. Yes, he was close, proximity of Trump and supported Trump. That you could support anybody you want. I can go support, Kobe Bryant for all that matters. I can go support LeBron James. I'm supporting them. I'm not, that's how this, in the politic world works. You have to support and you have to get behind somebody. All he did was get behind his message. It doesn't mean that, he was working alongside him. He wasn't no Elon Musk in the Oval Office. He wasn't Elon Musk, putting these things into proposal. Now, if he was, by all means, good for him. I know he visited the White House. Charlie Kirk did, everything like that, and that's great. And here's the other thing that I want to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about is all these haters coming on here. Why did Charlie Kirk get to fly on Air Force Two? When you have that kind of, solidness and, being able to, have not just freedom of speech, but the unwavering desire to go debate with these schools and, change a small portion of the way society looks at things, looks at views in this world. And, he deserves a lot more credibility than people are wanting to give him. He put his life on the line, as we witnessed. He literally put his life on the line day in, day out, weeks at a time. The special thing that he was on where he got killed was he was on tour. He was doing the whole, I think it was like called something Road to Comeback or whatever. And, it's just a phenomenal thing that, we don't have that type of people who can have that much courage to go out there and have a big enough pair of balls to have enough, a conversation about something like this. And he kind of knew, or he had to have known some type of, what am I getting myself into? But he did it for the right cause, for the right reason, and he believed in, Jesus Christ. So, and I know, 99.9% of us should or have some type of higher power we believe in, and it's appalling to see this, society just deteriorate. And I never could have expected or even witnessed something of how far it's digressed, and just it's disgusting. It's not even safe to go out of your own home anymore. For all I know, it's not even safe to sit here and record this episode. And I know that there's probably quote unquote some risk that I might be taking when I do this, but it's a freedom of speech. I have the right to talk about it just like everybody else is. Now, my views and my opinions are probably well amongst, the few far between of where we're looking at this in our own perspectives. And I'm not trying to be here and get all in the whole political side of things. I'm just trying to bring the awareness to it's not right for all the hate messages. For all I know, and for all they should do or want to do, is give his wife and kids Secret Service agents, because of the way people are. And if I was her and her family, I don't know if I'd be ever to sleep again. I really don't. But the other picture that we're missing and care to see, and all these other things that we want to involve, is that these young kids will never have a father to grow up to remember. I'm sure the oldest will remember some things and whatnot, but not what a dad should be known for. As far as witnessing what they had to witness, I would assume they would be scarred for life. I know at this age, as old as I would be, and I'd be scarred for life. I don't know if I could witness something like that close. Just hearing that sound and going through that, it's a very disgusting thing. It's nothing to joke about. This isn't a podcast to be joking, and I'm not joking. I'm expressing my feelings, expressing my thoughts to all these disgusting people on social media that I continue to see, to just use his name and his voice of reason for clickbait. And this whole world on social media is clickbait. This whole livelihood on social media is clickbait. How many more views can I get? How much more attention can I bring to my own good? Because like I said earlier, all these people that continue to hate, even grown-ass motherfucking adults, are using him because their level of success isn't as good as his was. So they want to sit here and, talk his name, bring his name down, because they aren't as good as him. They'll never be as good as him. They'll never have the right things to say as good as him. He always had a comeback, but an intelligent comeback. This guy was, probably borderline genius for all I know. The things that I've been able to watch, the things that I've been able to listen to, this guy was very, very intelligent. This guy was just, probably as intelligent or more intelligent than Elon Musk. And I say that for a multitude of reasons. But at the end of the day, like I said, and all these people that I'm talking about, do I agree with everything that they're doing? Absolutely not. Did I agree with everything that Elon Musk did or implied or put in or whatever? Absolutely. Then probably your next question is, then why do you support them? Why are you for them? I'm for them because if you really sit back and think about it, they're bringing some voice of reason. They're bringing some acknowledgement. These guys are not afraid, to say what they speak their mind. They speak their mind. They're not sitting back and, oh, well, let's see if this works, and if it doesn't, then we'll be quiet about it. No, and that's what this world has lost. It has lost the ability to voice your own opinion. It has lost the ability to the freedom of speech, like I said a second ago. It has lost the ability to be free. We have literally lost freedom. We can't be free anymore. We will never be able to be where we once were. And I'm never going to sit here and say 10 years ago was the world perfect. Nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing is going to be the quote unquote golden handshake. I don't care what industry, I don't care what job you have. There will never be anything perfect, because the second the world gets perfect, I'm no longer allowed to be on this earth. I will say that. And why? Because the second things get perfect, you don't learn anymore. You don't learn anymore. I love that the world is not perfect. I'm not asking for a perfect world, but I am asking for people to want to be on more of a neutral, common ground, to have these debates and discussions without death involved. That never needs to be brought into a picture. That never should want to be brought into a scenario or a situation. That is outright disgusting. That is outright disturbing. And for those of you that are sitting in the background cheering it on, saying, oh, he got what he deserved, oh, this and that, oh, that and that, you should go too. You should get the death penalty. And for the person that they found, he should get the death penalty. And by death penalty, he should get the electric chair, and he should sit there for hours on end and just get electrocuted over and over and over again. Yeah, I said what I said. And for those of you that don't support it, don't follow it, by all means, there's the door. See you later. Nice knowing you. This is where we are at in this world. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And you know what's even worse? It happened on September 10th, the day before the remembrance of September 11th. And then the one last thing I want to bring up is all these people that are saying, why is he being brought up? Why is he the level of attention he's getting? I guess I have not seen anything on it. I could be wrong. I could be right. There was a school shooting or another school shooting, and there's these people on social media coming and saying, why aren't we talking about that? Why is there no awareness brought about that? If you are on your lazy ass sitting there making content about why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? Get your ass up and, be a speaker like him. If you want to sit there and, preach about these kids getting killed and kids getting shot, where's your awareness? Why aren't you being like Charlie Kirk and talking about that? He can't do it all. He has a well-rounded, and voiced about this and voiced about that and voiced about that, and he's got a platform. Create your own platform just for kids then. I'm not saying shootings aren't good, good and these school shootings are good. I'm not supporting them for shooting up schools. I'm not doing any of that. But the people that want to make content about complaining about this and that and why our government and why our president is doing this and doing that and not this and not that, you be a voice of reason. You be like Charlie Kirk and go talk about these kids who are getting shot up at schools. You go do these things. You go do what Charlie Kirk is doing. Be another link to his arm. The people that I see making all these content about, oh, me, cry for me. Our kids, go do something about it. And that's the other problem with this society and this world is we got whiny little bitches and people that want to complain. They want to sit there on their ass and cry. Go do something about it. Go make a difference in your community. Go make a difference in your world. And you know what? I have every freaking right to talk about this and say it because my entire life, I have given back to my community. And if I gotten anything, I've got little to nothing in return. I am not sitting here. I am not going to beg for anything in return. That is not the point of this message. But the point of the message is the people that want to sit there and bitch and whine and complain and be vulgar and talk shit on our current president, our former president, so on and so forth. Why this? Why that? And throw their 2 cents. Go do something about it. There's a whole different discussion. And for those of you that don't think that I have, by all means, you have a lot to learn because there's another whole season and things I'm going to be talking about. For a lot of you that don't know, I'll just tell you right now, I wrote a law. Yeah, I wrote a law. And if you don't like it, you don't believe it, well, guess what? I saw something on social media that if not all of the law or a lot of the law just got accepted into our legislator. So am I proud of that? Am I sitting here, oh, I want clout? Guess what? My law passed? Absolutely fucking not. I could give 2 shits. And the reason I could give 2 shits is because I'm not here for clickbait. I'm not here to be like, oh, poor me. Guess what? Oh, look what happened. Yes, am I happy about it? Yes, am I excited about it? Absolutely. For those of you that don't know, I put a lot of time, I put a lot of passion, I put a lot of heart into that. But for those of you that want to sit here and have clickbait and have cry sessions on social media platforms because our government, our legislators are this, are that, go do something about it. Go be a fucking voice. There's not a fucking enough voices in this world. Everybody wants to sit back on their fucking pedestal and this and that and blah, 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 blah. You know where I'm going with this. And for anyone who doesn't think that that's true or doesn't think that I challenge you, email me, get in my social media platforms. Everything is Inner Champions Podcast. And I really just hope my little voice can spread a message and awareness to not just these youth, but grown-ass adults to just understand the reasoning and backing is behind of why I'm voicing my own opinion. I am voicing my own opinion because I've been in this situation. I've done these things. I've talked to legislators. I've seen how, non-willing they are to talk to you or non-willing to adapt to you. But did I quit? Did I give up? No. I did a lot of legislating for several years. I did a lot of bring awareness for several years. And I probably shouldn't introduce that in this episode, but so what? So what? All these people that are complaining, go do something about it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening to the Inner Champions Podcast on a very